All right, today we are taking a whirlwind tour through the incredible, ancient, and just unbelievably diverse world of India's martial arts. We're going to explore traditions that go back thousands of years, traditions woven right into the fabric of the subcontinent's culture, its history of combat, and even its dance. Let's jump right in. So let me ask you, when you hear the words martial arts, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably karate, right? Or kung fu? Maybe taekwondo? And those are all amazing, but today we're going to totally blow that picture wide open and look at a region with one of the richest and oldest histories of combat arts anywhere on Earth. See, in India, martial arts were never just about fighting. I mean, yes, they are absolutely effective systems of combat, but they're also these beautiful, expressive dance forms, they're vital cultural rituals, and they're disciplines for the mind and spirit. It's this world where a warrior's deadly precision can become a dancer's effortless grace. So here's how we're going to tackle this huge topic. We're going to take a journey across the subcontinent. We'll start with some of the foundational arts, then we'll travel down to the south, over to the east, up to the north, and into the northeast, before we wrap it all up by looking at why this is still such a living heritage today. You know, the sheer variety of martial arts in India is just staggering. From hand-to-hand combat to intricate weapon systems, pretty much every region developed its own unique styles over the centuries. And they were all shaped by local history, local culture, and, as we're about to see again and again, local mythology. So, our first stop is southern India. This is home to some of the absolute oldest and most legendary martial traditions out there, a place where, honestly, the line between a historical warrior and a mythological god gets pretty blurry. And first up, we have Kalaripayattu from Kerala. This is widely believed to be one of the oldest martial arts still in existence today. Think about that. Its roots go all the way back to the 4th century. And get this? Legend says it was created by the sage Parsurama, who was an avatar of the god Vishnu himself. Next, let's look at Silambam from Tamil Nadu. This is a super scientific, really sophisticated style of fighting with a staff. It was so effective, in fact, that it was actively sponsored by the great ancient dynasties of the region, the Pandyas, the Cholas, and the Cheras. They knew a good thing when they saw it. And you know, we absolutely cannot talk about the South without talking about Malla Yuddha. This is an ancient and incredibly complex system of wrestling. And it's not just one thing, it's a whole system broken down into 4 completely distinct styles. So these 4 styles of Malla Yuddha are each named after a legendary figure. First, you've got Hanumanti, named for the clever monkey god Hanuman, which is all about technical skill. Then there's Jampavanti, which uses locks and holds to force an opponent to submit. Jarasandhi is the most brutal. We're talking about breaking limbs and joints. And finally, you have Bhimaseni, named for the powerful hero Bhima, which is all about pure, raw strength. Okay, so from the power and mythology of the South, let's head east. Because here in eastern India, we see one of the most amazing examples of how that same warrior spirit, that same physical power, gets transformed into performance, into dance, and into deep, meaningful ritual. And that brings us to Chow. This tradition is so important, it's actually recognized by UNESCO. Now, it's a dance, but its core movements, its vocabulary, is pure martial arts. We're talking mock combat, stylized ways of walking like birds and animals, and even movements that mimic the daily chores of village life. It's this incredible fusion of art and everyday existence. But Chow isn't just one single thing. It actually has 3 different regional styles. The Saraikaila style from Jharkhand and the Purulia style from West Bengal both use these incredible, elaborate masks. They're a huge part of the performance. But the Mayurbhanj style from Orissa, well, they do it without any masks at all, which puts all the focus on the dancer's own facial expressions. And here is one of those amazing Purulia Chow masks. I mean, just look at the artistry, the raw emotion in that. These aren't just props, they are totally central to the story, transforming the dancer into a god, a demon, or a hero from mythology. So you might be wondering, where did all those martial moves in the Chow dance come from? Well, a huge influence was Parikanda from Bihar. This is a traditional sword and shield art that was developed by the famous Rajput warrior clans. And here's the connection, the key takeaway. Those practical, life-or-death techniques from Parikanda, the footwork, the strikes, the blocks, they were taken, they were stylized, and they became the fundamental building blocks of the Chow dance. It's a straight line from the battlefield right onto the performance stage.
Okay, our journey now takes us to the north, a region that has seen centuries of empires and conflict, and all that history forged some really distinct and powerful warrior arts.
So in Punjab, we find Gatka. This is a weapon-based art that is deeply, deeply connected to Sikh warriors and Sikh history. It's an incredibly dynamic and really visual art form that's all about fluid movements and a mastery of weapons like swords and sticks.
Then, from Himachal Pradesh, we get Toda, which is this really cool mix of martial art, sport, and culture. The name Toda actually comes from the little round piece of wood they put on the arrowhead to make it non-lethal. It's a huge community event, usually played during festivals with a ton of celebration. And up in Kashmir, we have Sway, a unique sword fighting style that goes way back to ancient times. Practitioners use a curved, single-edged sword and a shield, and mastering it requires just immense speed and agility. And for the final leg of our tour, we head to Northeast India. This is a region famous for its incredible cultural diversity, and that's totally reflected in its really unique and powerful indigenous martial arts. In Manipur, one of the most famous arts is Thang-Ta. The name itself tells you what it is. Thang means sword, and Ta means spear. It's also known as the art of the sword and spear, and it's this really sophisticated system that combines these graceful, almost dance-like movements with absolutely deadly combat effectiveness. Manipur also gives us mukna, a traditional kind of folk wrestling, a true warrior sport. It involves gripping the opponent by their waistcloth, which takes incredible strength. But what makes mukna so special is its connection to ceremony. It's traditionally played on the final day of the Lai Haroba festival, which makes it a core part of the region's cultural and religious life. So, we've gone from the legends of the South to the warrior sports of the Northeast. And I think one thing is clear. These traditions are so much more than just historical artifacts. They are a living, breathing heritage, still being practiced, still being performed, and passed down from one generation to the next. They're just this powerful reminder that